One day the engines were talking about something what really made them excited, but Hank didn't know why. What are you talking about what made you really excited? Said Hank. The reason why we're excited, said Edward, it's because the Fat Controller has brought back the flying kipper. Ooh-wee, said Hank. I would be excited. Said Donald. I don't know which engine who will pull it, but I hope it would be me. Or me, said Gordon, but Salty was confused, so if he's not going to be the first engine to pull it, if he was not going to be the first engine to pull it, he might be gutted. But Edward decided to go first. Maybe I'll pull it, said Edward. No, said Henry, I'll pull it. I pulled it for 1 year now, so I'm pulling it for 2 years, said Henry, because I want to still love pulling the flying kipper, or otherwise the engines will, otherwise they'll think you lot on me, he said. Don't be silly, said Edward. They won't think we're you. Just, maybe I'll pull it, said Hank. No, you can't, said Henry. I'll pull it. Well, you're not allowed. Well, no, you can't, said Henry. I'll pull it. I think Hank can pull it, Henry, said Edward. Remember, you had an accident with it. Henry didn't remember, Henry used to not remember, but he did now. So Hank was waiting. Oh, said Donald. Besides, it's either tea time or tonight. It's your choice. Hank chose tea time, so the engines did say so and decided to talk. Later it became tea time, and Hank was ready. Ready when his driver arrived. Okay, said his driver, we got to take the flying kipper. Don't tell Henry, he said. We'll go. And so Henry was ready. But don't tell Henry, said Hank. He'll know what I'm doing. All right, said his driver. Let's go. I will, said Hank, and Hank steamed away. Hank was ready to go. And finally, he didn't know where the flying kipper is, and he doesn't know what it looks like. The flying kipper is a goods train, and it's a goods train full of deliveries, crates of fish and all that stuff, and the rest of the special train will always be far away. And the flying kipper it is, and there it was, inside Boulder Mountain sometimes, but sometimes at the dock. Hank was ready at 9 o'clock. There was snow and frost. Men hustled and shouted and loaded the trucks full of fishes and deliveries. And Hank was ready to go. Come on, old boy, said his driver. You'll be ready. Trickety-truck, sang the trucks. Then let's get going, said Hank. And Hank steamed away. He hurried along the track. He knew what made him really happy because of the flying kipper, except Henry. Henry was jealous. But Hank didn't bother. Just then he steamed next to Bash. Oh, hi, Hank, said Bash. What are you doing? Said Hank. I'm pulling the flying kipper. Where is it? Said Bash. Can't tell you, said Hank, but Hank was so shy. I can't talk right now. Goodbye, he said, and Hank steamed away. Bash didn't know what he was saying. because he doesn't know what the flying kipper is. Is it an engine, or a goods train, or a coach, or something like that, he said. But he can't even decide what it is. While Hank was steaming along the track, suddenly he didn't know that the points were switched to a wrong lane, and the wrong lane was, this morning there had been an accident. Rosie and the express have crashed into an old house, and so Scarlow is trying to pull them out, when suddenly Hank was trying to go somewhere else. He already lost control. The rails were slow, slippery. Hank couldn't stop. Help, he said, and crashed into Scarlow and the other rest of the group. And the house crumbled in pieces, and Rosie inside it was hurt. And Hank crashed into Torindo Gas and knocked him down. And knocked him down again. Oh, ow, said Torindo Gas. And Hank and the rest of the flying kipper were derailed. Hank's driver and fireman jumped clear before the crash, but Hank lay dazed and surprised. At the next day, an old lady was cross with Hank. "You naughty engine," he said, "and look at my poor house. Now I'll have to phone the police and the rest of the rescue group," she said. Hank felt upset, but embarrassed as well. At the next day, Hank was put back on the rails, so he was lifted on Mighty Mac's flatbed truck while they were teasing him. Hank did not like this at all. "I'm supposed to go home," he said. "No," they said. "You're supposed to go somewhere else, like up here." "Oh," said Hank, "it's not funny. I wish you'll stop it." "Not for long," said Mighty Mac. "Oh," said Hank, You're so annoying," he said. "Take me back." Okay, said Mighty Mac. "We were having fun, but not for long." Mighty Mac began to slow down when they ran out of water. "I think we can't make it," he said. "Ugh," growled Hank. "I hate you all." And he was even more horrid than ever. He did not like this. That is why he became so cross with Mighty Mac and the old woman who saw the crash of the flying kipper.